Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this live webinar on financial planning debt management. It is a pleasure to have you all here today. We are honored to introduce you our esteemed speaker for the evening, Dr. Kapil Shrimal. Dr. Shrimal brings in a wealth of knowledge and experience in financial planning and debt management, and we are very excited to learn from his insights. Dr. Kapil Shrimal is an associate professor at National Institute of Securities Market. He is having more than 15 years of experience of academics and 1 year experience of corporate. He had started his career with ICICI Prudential LIC and worked with institutes like Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Indore, Symbiosis University of Applied Science, Indore, Marwadi University, Rajkot, etc. His last assignment was with PIMR Indore. His main area of teaching and research is financial planning, portfolio management, derivatives, financial modeling, financial management, advanced Excel, etc. He has conducted many investment awareness programs on behalf of SEBI, NSE, and ICAI India. He has conducted MDPs on Excel to SEBI officers, income tax officers, GST officers, ID officers, etc. He has also conducted MDPs on personal financial planning for the officers of Mazgaon Dock Limited, ICLS, etc. Dr. Shrimal has received Best Faculty Award by Dainik Bhaskar in the year 2012. He has also received Best PhD Thesis Award by Jaipuria Institute of Management Indore in the year 2018. He has presented and published research papers in international and national reviews and published one book. Some of his research papers got Best Research Paper Awards in international conferences. He is into the editorial board and reviewer member of International Journal of Accounting and Financial Management Research. He is also associated with various universities as member of Board of Studies, Academic Council, and PhD examiner. Dr. Shrimal has done his PhD in Management and Finance from Mohanlal Sukhadia University, Udaipur. He has also cleared UGC NET and RPSC SET in Management in the year 2012. He has cleared many NISM and NCFM modules. A very warm welcome, sir. And now over to you to lead the way.
Thank you, Rajlakshmi, for this introduction. So I'm audible, all of you? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So the topic today that I'm going to discuss, that is the debt management of the financial planning that we can say. And we all know that debt is the today's in the today's era that debt is a part of our day-to-day life. Without debt, we cannot purchase our house, we are not purchasing our cars or any of the asset that we are not going to purchase. And a part of this, sometimes this debt become burden also for an individual. How this debt become burden for the individual? That we have seen the news are coming into the market sometimes that some person is committed the suicide due to the high debt, big person become NPA, or auctions of the properties are there, auctions of the vehicles are there, and number of studies are there that you can see into the market. But yes, due to this debt, the financial planning of an individual or a financial planning of a person, those who are working, especially the service class peoples or the business class also at some point of time, that disturbs. And due to this disturb, not only they spoil their life, their career but the we can say the siblings also, or we can say about the nominees also, family members also, all of will be disturbed in the life. Before starting this session, I will just show a small video, and after that, I'll start the presentation about the debt management. And let's see something at the end of the session, something good can be come out. So just coming to this video,
So far, थोड़ी ना बदल रही. What's the fuss, Ranjan?
The fuss is about this. The estimate. 17,000 rupees for merit. फिर मटेरियल इससे कम नहीं हो सकता है.
कम कैसे होगा? मैंने मटेरियल ही तो है.
कल तुम बोलोगे कि मैथन कर्टन्स लगवाने हैं. It doesn't end. You know, yeah, I'm seriously strapped for cash. What is this here?
तुमसे थोड़ी ना मांग रही.
There you go again. Your money, my money, wala chakkar. I mean, get real, Aarti, get real, yaar. I've got to toggle 4 credit card payments this month. और सबका मिनिमम आ रहा है 22,000 रुपए. ऊपर से हाउसिंग ईएमआई, ग्रोसरी, सर्वेंट्स की सैलरीज, दौड़ ही जा रहा हूँ यार. It's not ending, it's never enough.
क्यों कर रही हो? किसको दिखाना चाहते हो?
मैं दिखा, ये तुम्हारी अपॉजिटी छुपाने के लिए होती है.
बिल्कुल नहीं. आए दिन तुम्हारे बॉस ही तो तशरीफ रखते हैं वहाँ, जिनके सामने तुम बार बार अपनी छह बातें फ्लैश करते हैं.
Every conversation, every argument has got to end with my responses or what?
No. In fact, I'd like you to wear all your six watches at the same time. Maybe then you could show some better time.
So very small video, but I think from this video, you must have some idea about what the conversation between the wife and the husband is going on, where you can see how the things are going on. They are discussing about the expenses. They are discussing about the 4 credit card bills outstanding that they have to pay. The minimum is 22,000 per credit card. So he is not about what is the outstanding amount, but he is not about what is the minimum amount he is going to pay. Housing loan EMI, other EMIs, and so on. So this is a part that I think because I'm also belong to some middle class family, and we all know that that is a part where every day or on and off somewhat on the dining table or on tea, the discussion between the family members that this is the outstanding amount, we have to pay the housing loan EMI, we have to pay the car EMI, we have to pay the credit card EMI nowadays because the that we can say nothing is what we can say stoppable as a part of the EMI. And at some point of time, I've seen in my personal life, some of the people, the earning is, let's take an example, 50,000 rupees, but EMI is, he has to pay 70,000 rupees. So again, he will borrow 20,000 rupees more from someone person to pay the EMI. So this is a part of EMI is a huge chakravyuh that you can say if you went inside the chakravyuh, it is difficult to come out from this particular chakravyuh. And due to this conversation, the family members, because you will see this entire video, you'll find that family members' kids are also disturbed, other persons are also disturbed. And right time, when this right time will come, because the time when we'll say it is difficult to come when we are paying an EMI. So that is a part where you're losing your future cash inflow. You're losing your future cash inflow. You don't know what is going to be done in expenses. And if you are traveling from, let's take an example, when I travel in the Mumbai local trains, there are certain posters I can find in the train that this particular you can have personal loan of up to 50,000 rupees without any document. Only the PAN card, Aadhaar card is required. At some point of time when I was residing in Indore, I remember on the circles there at Choraya, some person was standing with the motorbike or the Activa and having a banner that personal loan up to 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees without any documentation or only Aadhaar card is required. And this burden is increasing day by day on a person's life because our need is increased, not a need, that is the demand is increasing or the wants are increasing of a person. And if we understand the need, want, and demand of a person exactly, definitely this EMI burden will go down. And if this EMI burden will go down, you will live happily. And you can see the person, if the person is having the debts, let's take an example, having a huge loan or burden. So he was not happy with the salary is coming because he know this salary will definitely is coming credited in my account on 30 or 31st. And by the 10th, the account will be zero or account will have a minimum balance because all the from 1 to 10, all the EMI will deduct it. So this is a part where you, the financial management, budgeting, everything will disturb a person's life. And this is due to the increasing of a demand, increasing of the life. And there are a number of financial services industries. Credit cards are there. You can buy iPhone with a simple EMI. If you'll go to the Amazon will give the two options to you. If you'll buy by cash, you have to pay the entire amount. If you'll buy with the credit card EMI, will give the 10% discount to you. So they are trapping you, they are increasing your liabilities. And this, if you increase your liabilities, definitely it will have a difficulty life in your entire financial life. And you cannot create a huge corpus. So this is the ice-breaking video that I want to show to you. Now coming to the idea, why we have to discuss this particular topic. So recently, in the month of April only, the Motilal Oswal has published one report that the household debt is the 40% of GDP. And that you can say that it is increasing day by day. Household debt is increasing day by day. And you can see, if you compare with the graph number 1, you can see in the 2008, when the subprime crisis was there, it was 6.75%. The household liabilities is a 6.75% of the GDP. It was highest, and after that, it is again in 2023. So second number is 2023. Again, it is going to be increased day by day. And you'll find this very good RBI report is there. You can find the RBI report. RBI has presented this report and that report, RBI has clearly said that the day by day, that is the highest level of the household liabilities is increased. And if you compare this graph, you'll find from this graph that household liabilities, the agri loans are decreasing, business loans are decreasing, but the personal loans are increasing day by day. And if the personal loans are increasing, these personal loans are increasing only due to the over demand of the persons, or you can say only to show off at some point of time, or only to show that I can have this type of assets. But I personally know that if you can purchase, you can afford, let's take an example, a flat of 2 crore rupees, but to afford a flat of 2 crore rupees at some point of time, you have to pay the EMI also. Okay, so that will be the pain in the life of a person. And this report has the eyes breaking to the persons that not only the percentage of this particular household liabilities is increasing, but the deposits in the savings are also reduces at this particular point of time, because persons nowadays are nowadays the persons are on the, what we can say, investing, or the persons are borrowing the n number of things. I just want to throw some light on the live cases that I come with at some point of time. I remember when I was working with some of the institute, one day one office boy came to me. He came to some sweets, that the peda, and he was serving some peda to all the employees or the faculties. And he was a simple office boy with a salary of 8,500 rupees per month after all the deduction of the ESI and PF and everything he was having. So I was very happily taking one peda and took another peda, and wishing his congratulations. And I was asking, kya hua, ladka hua ya ladki hui hai na? Because someone will distribute the peda only if you have the kid at home. And he said, he said, ladka ya ladki kuch nahi hua, I purchased a bike. So I was shocked by you purchase a bike, and again you are distributing the peda of 300 rupees per kg to us. So I just asked which bike you purchased. So he told, sir, I purchased a KTM, and the KTM was costing me about 160, 170 lakh rupees, 1.60 or 1.70 lakh rupees KTM. So I was shocked, he can afford the KTM. So I asked, then how you purchase, cash or the EMI? So bola, sir, I deposited 20,000 rupees to the company, and I will pay the EMI of 6,000 rupees per month for some years. So again, the question to me, to him from me is that your salary is 8,000 rupees and you're going to pay the 6,000 rupees EMI. From your home to the institute is 25 kilometers, 25 kilometers to come, 25 kilometers to go, 50 kilometers, and you'll roam here and there also. So on an average, you'll run 80 to 100 kilometers per day, and your KTM will give the 20 kilometers average. So it required 5 liters of petrol, and 1 liter of petrol is 100 rupees. So again, 500 rupees per day. So 500 into 30, so 15,000 rupees is the petrol expenses. 5,000 rupees is the EMI. His salary is the 8,000 rupees, and the deficit is of what? The deficit of 5 plus 15. That is a 20, and 8, 12,000 rupees a deficit. So he will borrow from his parent then. So he'll give additional burden to his father that now I have purchased this particular bike, and you have to pay the EMI for me. So this type of things will be painful. If you will take a burden, this type of things will be painful. And this report clearly show, if you read the entire report of the Reserve Bank of India, and Motilal Oswal has presented this particular report on the public platform also. So you find that how the household incomes, savings are decreasing day by day, how this loans part is increasing day by day. And due to this, the life will become defaulter. And we all seen, because we are into the generation, we all seen the subprime crisis of 2008, and that was only due to the debt also. Okay, so this type of dates can create a huge mess in the life. So this is the report one ice breaking. One more report that was presented in India Today magazine, that how credit card pandemic is gripping India. And you can see the credit card usage in India has been jumped in between 2019 to 2020. So after COVID, the credit card usage has jumped. Credit card defaulters has also increased. Okay. And the bulk credit card loans issued by the bank are riskier. And we all know, because if we have the credit card, some point of time we receive some offer, some discount, and we will say, ठीक है, एक महीने बाद 45 days बाद तो मुझे pay करना. But after 45 days, you don't know what other emergency will be there. So this type of traps, this type of loans, this type of credit card uses will reduce the future cash inflow, because whatever salary you're going to receive, you have to pay one part of your salary to the paying of this particular debt, some of the expenses you're going to do. And after these expenses, what will be there? There will be the specially things that you have to save for your future also. So these are the parts. So this three slides, initial first three slides, are the sort of my ice breaking to you, that what debt create mess in your family, mess in your life. Number one, what is the view of the Reserve Bank of India on the debt that you are going to increase, and what is the view in the general public? And so this is only one of the part. Even I've seen some of the person, those who take the personal loan from the bank for XYZ cause, and after some time period, that personal loan become a what we can say burden on his or salary. That will be in the future, they always regret that why I have taken this particular personal loan. Okay, so this is an ice breaking session. Now, what is the understanding of debt in your life? So that is a money borrowed from another party, typically from the financial institutions or the individual. Okay, and you will promise to that person that over a period of time, that whatever debt I'm going to take from the institutions or the bank or the person, over the period of time, I'm going to pay the principal as well as the interest. Okay, if you take the loan from the financial institution or the bank, that EMI that you are going to pay, that EMI consists of the principal and interest both. But I've seen some of the person, those who take the loan from the personal, that we can say the in this is simple language, the person that is saukar or the individual person, those who give the loan, so they will only take the interest. They will not take a principal with your EMI. They will only ask you to pay the interest per month, and at the end of the day, you to give the principal also. So the burden is been in your mind at every point of time, and this EMI will be reduce your future income. Now, there are certain types of the debts that include. So I have taken the measure. So the generally debt is divided into two parts: secured debt or secured loan and unsecured loan. And what I generally presume, that always when you are taking a loan, also it should be secured, because when the loan should be secured, the interest on that loan or the cost of capital on that loan is lower as compared to the unsecured loan. So credit card is unsecured loan with the highest interest, and if you are using the credit card, you must be aware about that particular thing. If you become a defaulter, or if you pay the minimum amount on that particular credit card bill, it will charge up to 48% interest per annum to you. So highest level of interest, 48% is what rate of interest outstanding, whatever outstanding amount is there. So that is the highest interest payment. Number two, nowadays the student loan is increasing day by day into the market. Even in the RBI report, you will see how this student loan is increased. So what we are doing, we are creating a burden on the kid, on the mind that you have to get placed from your institute. And after the placement, you have to pay the EMI of whatever studies have you done. So the borrowed the fund for the education, and the rate of interest is lower. Definitely, some of the parents are taking for the tax saving also. But if you've not done the education planning of your kid, when you plan the kid over the period of time, you're not deposit some corpus, or you're not deposited in the future investment plans for the kid at the time of the graduations or the master, you take the education loan. And the education loan is not a burden on you, it is a burden on your kid. When it is a burden on your kid, it means if at some point of time, due to any cause, economical condition, due to any cause, if the candidate or the kid is not placed from the institute, definitely he will think that how I will pay this EMI, how I will pay this EMI because I'm not placed from the institute. So burden will be there on the mind of the kid. So this is the another type of loan. Then the mortgage loan. So generally, when you purchase the property, when you purchase a housing loan or other type of assets, that we can say the car loan, two-wheeler loan, four-wheeler loan. So highest number of loans that nowadays persons are taking, that is the housing loan or the property loan, that is increasing. Okay, and due to this mortgage loan, and we know when we are buying, when we are going to buy any house from the market, definitely the ticket size is huge. And when the ticket size is huge, definitely one cannot pay all the ticket size. So they will approach to some of the bank, and if they will approach to any bank, that bank will give the housing loan to the person based on the creditability, based on the income and expenditure and other liabilities, something like that. But in the lifespan of a person, rarely some of the person are there who purchase a house by their own money. Other persons, like more than 90% persons, those who are purchasing a house in India, they are taking from the loans. And if they're taking from a loan, the EMI will be there. That is one of the part. Another type of loan, that is auto loan. Again, auto loan is a secured loan. So I want to have the car like XYZ car, ABC car, and something like that. And hoga kya? है ना? It will be nothing but it will be the increase your family status. आप बोलोगे आप कार लेकर के आए, तो your neighbor will say, अच्छा क्या बात है, you purchase the Honda City, very good. But you will only know the pay that to afford that Honda City, it might be possible you're given the deposit of the what can say the down payment of 1 lakh rupees, and remaining 14 lakh rupees you're going to pay the EMI for next 5 years. And that 14 lakh rupees outstanding EMI is near about 35 to 30,000 rupees for next 5 years to you. आप समझ सकते हैं कि that type of pressure will be there on your mind कि EMI पे चीजें लाना आसान है, but to pay the EMI is very difficult in the future. Okay, so auto loans and some other type of loan, we can say the highest number of loans, again the personal loans. And as personal, I remember at one point of time, not got the name of the bank, but I know that one bank has started offering the loan for the honeymoon also. And I also know one person, one of my known person who's taken the honeymoon loan for getting married. After married, he has promised his spouse that after marriage we'll go to the Switzerland for the honeymoon. And to went to the Switzerland, he has taken a 5 lakh rupees personal loan from that particular bank, and he was paying the EMI for next 5 years. And after 3 years, he got divorced. And so the next 2 years burden was there on his mind that ये तो धन भी गया और धर्म भी गया, मेरी बात होगी ना, because जिस चीज के लिए पर्पस के लिए मैंने लोन लिया वो तो मेरी लाइफ पार्टनर ही नहीं रही अभी. So there are n number of personal loans are there. Again, the personal loan rate of interest is very high. If you take a personal loan from any of the bank, you have to think that why this banks is there and how this why you're taking this particular personal loans. I've seen the person छोटा मोटा ठीक है क्रैश से, if you have the credit card वाला हर महीना आपको एक पॉपअप देते हैं कि we have offer for you for a personal loan. ठीक है, बजाज फिनसर्व की तरफ से कोई मैसेज आता है, होम क्रेडिट से मैसेज आता है. Nowadays n number of platforms are there, and you will just you will become a fish for them, and they will just serve some food to you and become a fish for them, and they will eat your entire future income. So this type of loans are there, and these loans will create certain burden in your life. Just understand why create, but at some point of time, what debts is always not bad, and at some point of time, the debt can be the good decision also, and for borrowed fund. Because if, for example, I'm investing some money into the market is giving me, let's take an example, 10 to 12% of return. And if I can borrow the same fund from a bank for a other investment where I have to pay the 6 to 7% of the interest, so I can have a margin of 4% or 3%. Okay, whatever the spread is there. So I can understand when I know where the borrowed fund is cheaper for me, and when I'm investing this money at good asset, where in future the returns will be there for me, in that case, the loan is always good. But yes, if you are taking a car loan, that car value is not going to be increased in future, so that is a bad loan. If you're taking a personal loan, that is a bad loan. If you're taking a credit card loan, that is a bad loan. So this bad loan will affect your life. But if you're taking a housing loan, let's take an example, residing in Mumbai and you purchase 1 BHK flat in Mumbai, let's take an example of 1 crore rupees. It might be higher than that, but you take a 1 crore rupees and you're taken a loan of 80 lakh rupees on 1 crore rupees, you're going to pay the EMI of approximately 80,000 rupees. And over the period of time, the value of that flat is going to be increased. And if you do the analysis, you will earn more on that particular return on that particular investment as compared to you pay the EMI. But at the same part, if I do this investment in tier 2 or tier 3 cities, where the property rate is not going to increase as compared to the Mumbai or the metro cities, in that case, the loss for me. Okay, you have to understand the complexity, where the loan is good, where the loan is bad, but always you have to understand what are your assets, what are your liabilities, what is your need, want, and demand. And based on your need, want, and demand, you can take a loan or you can take a debt. Okay, now the role and impact of debt in the cash flow management. Okay, because when we take any loan, it generally affects your cash flow. Okay, while some loans are good that are discussed and may recommended how much debt, it depends upon the financial situation of a household. And that I said, if you're going to purchase a housing loan. So let's take an example. If you're residing in a city where you are paying a rent of 20,000 rupees for 2 BHK, I'm just giving an example. And in the same city, if you're going to purchase a flat where the EMI is near about 20,000 rupees, you're going to purchase, let's say, flat of 40 lakh or 35 lakh or 50 lakh rupees, where you take a loan of 25 lakh rupees, 50% down payment and 50% the EMI. So the EMI will be near to your rent. In that case, your decision can be good. Okay, but and yet in the same city, for example, you purchase a flat, you are giving the EMI of 30,000 rupees and you allocated that flat on rent where you're receiving a rent of 5,000 rupees only, then there is no need to take a purchase of that particular flat where income is lesser than the expenses. Okay, you to understand whether it is good or whether it is bad. Take a good indicator is the debt to income ratio. So you have to calculate what is the debt to income ratio, and it measures, so it generally measures the obligations. So when we are going to take a loan from any of the bank, generally what bank will do the analysis that whatever the income will be of yours will give you can afford the 50% of the EMI. Yes or no? So for example, agar aapka 1 lakh ka income hai, per month salary is 1 lakh rupees, so you can pay the 50,000 rupees EMI every per month very efficiently. But at some point of time, I've seen the person, the same thing is there, and I've seen the person where the income is 1 lakh rupees and EMI is 70,000 or 80,000 rupees. So it is difficult for the survival over a period of time. Okay, so you to understand that what should be the debt to income ratio, and there is no perfect optimal is there, but whatever the situation is there, jitna lower hoga, that will be better for the person, and that will be better for the lender also. The lender will get an assurity now he will pay the money for the future. But if the debt to income ratio is higher, that is always the risk on the persons. Okay, or the risk to become an NPA. Differentiating between the consumption expenditure and the investment expenditure. So that I've given the example to you. Okay, if you purchase a house, that is an investment expenditure. If you're taking a housing loan, that can be good. But for example, if I want to go to the abroad, okay, and I will take a personal loan for going in abroad, that will be the consumption expenditure, and that expenditure loan is bad for me and bad for the bank also. Okay, you can take the example of the subprime crisis. The same thing was there, and whatever the asset was there, the value was lesser as compared to the loan is given to the individual. So that's why the subprime crisis was there. So you have to understand what is the consumption expenditure are there. Identify the holes in the household budget, and we generally we have a tendency or we in a habit where we not create the household budget. If you fix your household budget, definitely at some point of time, there will be no need to take a loan from the bank, especially the personal loans that we can say. So you have to identify what are the look points in my household budget, because if the cash outflow is more, I remember one movie was there, Amdani Attanni Kharcha Rupaiya. So if your incomes are lesser and your expenses are more, definitely there are certain look points in your household budget. You have to work on that also. allocating to various categories of expenditure. So to fix your expenditures, and that's why, because if you don't fix your expenditure, you have to take a loan. That's simple. I remember I counsel some of the persons on the debt management in my personal life. Also, I met with one of my friend. He was having outstanding on two credit cards of 3 lakh rupees for in last 1 year. And when I seen the statement of his credit card, you won't believe only two expenses was there in that credit card per month. The one expenditure was the DMart, that he was purchasing grocery from the DMart. Number two, of the medical. When he is going to purchase any medicines, he used to purchase from the credit card. So grocery and medical. So every month he used to purchase some grocery. Every month he used to purchase some medicines, and he used to pay from the credit card. When the credit card bill came, he will give the minimum amount. And this way, the outstanding become the 3 lakh rupees. It was a burden from him. So that type of restructuring, that type of burden will always face the issue for the personal life. You have to understand that is how the budget expenses will be done. And if you earn certain windfall, then suddenly income is come to you, some bonus, some incentive, some lottery, कौन बनाया करोड़पति में जाके आपको 1 करोड़ रुपया मिल गया, something like that. So how you should use these windfalls? The first task is to reduce the debts. अगर आपके पास अचानक पैसा आता है, सबसे पहले आपका debt को कम करिए. Then think about the investment and other part, because if the debt will reduce, definitely in the future, your assets will be created. Okay. Now, responsible borrowing. So every individual has a need of some sort of debt or borrowing to meet the various financial needs that we know. Yes, without borrowing, even I remember my mother used to say that अगर आपके ऊपर लोन नहीं होगा तो कमाने की अक्ल नहीं आएगी. The same thing is there. You have some responsible borrowing. Minimum borrowing must be there to meet your financial goals. Since there are several assets that are big ticket size, like a house that I discussed, where the purchase will be there. So big ticket size, you have to take a loan. Similarly, use of the electric and plastic money, that due to this UPI, Paytm Karo, and debit cards, credit cards, what it does is just increase your expenses. Because I know if the Paytm is giving an facility to you that you can link your credit card with the Paytm, and you have to just क्या करना है आपको, 2 रुपए का चाय पिया फॉर एग्जांपल, तो आपने पेटीएम कर लिया ना, you will be happy कि मैंने पेटीएम किया, but that 2 rupees has went from your credit card and credit card bill will come to you. So you have to understand that this plastic money, the use of plastic money is good. The use of digital money is very good. Okay, electronic platform is good, but use with certain limitation. Put the fixed expenses in this UPI, fix the in the link account, that we can say if you have the 3,000 rupees per month budget of the Paytm, the account which is linked to the Paytm, just deposit 3,000 rupees to that particular account and use the Paytm. तो 3,000 से ज़्यादा का नहीं करना, something like that. I remember that there is one more good movie that I've seen of the debt at the financial management crisis, that I can say, Tara Rampam, if you've seen, I don't know. And that is very good movie, where the person was earning a huge money when he was doing the car racing, and suddenly everything was lost, and everything was lost. After that, no cash was there, nothing was there. All the liabilities was there, and everything was sold. So this type of good life learning lessons. Okay. Then all these are facilities for individual, but they need to use responsibility. These are the facilities. UPI is a facility, credit card is a facility. If you understand the cycle of the credit card, definitely you can use efficiently, because bank is going to pay you or give you 45 days free without interest money to you. अगर आपके पास में 1 लाख रुपए की लिमिट का क्रेडिट कार्ड है, आप 45 days बिलिंग साइकिल को समझ पाओगे, तो विदाउट इंटरेस्ट यू कैन यूज द मनी ऑफ दैट क्रेडिट कार्ड. बट वहीं पे डिफॉल्ट हुआ था, देन यू टू पे अप टू 48% ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. यू टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस पार्ट. रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के साथ व्हेन यू यूज दिस पर्टिकुलर cash facilities, that will be good for you. And one of the key point that every individual need to follow is that there should be never borrow more than they can afford. है ना? तो that we can say, or forefather used to say, जितना चादर हो उतना पैर फैला के सोना चाहिए. Same thing is that. Okay? You're not to borrow more than you can afford. अगर आपकी affordability की आपकी जेब में, let's take an example. If I'm doing F&O into the market, and I'm having a limit of 20,000 rupees stop loss into the market, I can put a stop loss up to 20,000 rupees. अगर मैं stop loss नहीं लगाऊंगा तो मेरा सारा चला जाएगा. Same thing over here also. If you cannot afford the higher EMI, don't take. In the previous video that I showed to you, that same thing was there कि किसको बताना है, something like that. So when you become you take this loan for the show off, it will always create a mess in the life. So you always take the responsible borrowing. My steps for the effective debt management. That is a topic that how you can manage your debt effectively, how it will reduce your burden. So these are certain steps are there. So first thing is that assess your debt situations. Okay. So list all the debts, whatever amount you're going to pay, the amount you own, and just create the table in Excel. Okay, what is the amount I am a housing loan, I'm having a car loan, I'm having a personal loan, I'm having the one more personal loan, for example. Okay, then the rate of interest in all this loan is, let's take an example, minimum is 8%, maximum is 14%, might possible. Okay, the payments are there, on which date I have to pay the payment, monthly payment is there, and what is the remaining period of that particular loan. Just create the table of your all the loan, do the analysis. Then at one point of time, you will think that this loan I have taken for good purpose, this loan I have taken for the bad purpose. Might be possible. Calculate your debt income ratio. Take a total monthly debt, it will divide it, and it should be considerable. It should be lesser than, even I will say 30%, less than 30% it will be there. So it will always create the good life for you. So it should be 36, 37, 30%, below 50% hona chahiye. That is my perception is there. Now, second thing, create the budget of your family. What is your income? What are your expenses? Okay. And from these expenses, what is the compulsory expenses a part of the EMI? You have to understand that particular part. And what a surplus fund is there. Okay. How to use that particular surplus fund. So just create the budget for your family. Once you create the budget for your family, you should know that my income is 1 lakh rupees. Out of this income, the 70,000 rupees, the EMI I am going to pay every month. Okay, so only 30,000 rupees now I'm having to meet my medical expenses, to meet my day-to-day food, to meet my emergency, everything. So what is going to happen with 30,000 rupees? Nothing. Okay, you have to understand. You have to just create the budget, then identify the areas to cut back on spending. Okay, so it might be possible. Generally, what we have seen when we go to the mall or when we go to the any departmental store like Big Bazaar or the D-Mart or the Smart, Reliance Smart Mart, what we'll do, we purchase a grocery. ये ऑफर है, ये ले लो, ये ऑफर है, ये ले लो. So we are thought of के my grocery expenses should be, let's take an example, 5,000 rupees, और जब मैं काउंटर पे जाके बिलिंग करवा रहा होता हूँ तो 12,000 रुपये उसका बिल आता है, because I have taken the extra things which was not into my list. Okay, due to this, what is there, your budget will be mismatched. So just think what should be your budget, how you can cut your unnecessary expenses. If you cut your unnecessary expenses, definitely you'll save some money, and if you'll save some money, you can invest for the future. Number 3, that is to prioritize your debts. Okay, so what is a debt? That a high interest first, that focus on paying off the loans which are having the high interest. Let's take an example, you have a personal loan, you have a credit card outstanding. First, prioritize to be pay the debt particular part. Okay, first preference is to be given to the high interest or the small debt first, whatever thing is there. Okay, let's take an example. So first one is the enclave method and second is snowball method. Okay, so if you have the higher interest rate debt or the lower amount, so what you can do, the lower amount, let's take outstanding is 10,000 rupees only. One debt is outstanding for me. You just pay the lower amount first and then focus on the higher interest. So you can do the what I can say, mix of both this also, that is known as a blizzard, where you can mix the both the strategies, but prioritize your debts. Which debt you have to pay first, which debt you have to pay second, and so. Okay. Then next is the negotiate with the creditors. Take my words, if you negotiate with the creditors, so even I personally done in my practical life also, I'll just give you an example to you. When I've taken the housing loan, the rate of interest was near about 9.8 or 9.8%. That was from the one of the housing finance company. At the time of COVID, government has reduced the rate of interest to 6.7%. Okay, and my bank is not reduced that drastically. They have reduced only some 30 basis points or something like that. I negotiated with my banks. I asked them, if you're not going to reduce my interest, then I will transfer. And they've not done that. I transfer my loan and I've taken a loan that is balance transfer that I can say to some of the PSU bank. And at that particular point of time, I reduced to almost the interest of 3% per month. So you can negotiate on the lower interest rate. Okay, if you have a good CIBIL score, definitely you can negotiate. अगर आपका CIBIL score 750 भी नहीं है, जो that is the minimum benchmark is there, you cannot negotiate. आपको ज़्यादा rate देना होगा. But you have the CIBIL score of more than 800 or something like that at that particular point of time. Okay, at that particular point of time, what will happen? Okay, you can negotiate with your bank. नहीं, अगर आपका दे रहे हैं, for example, you're offering if you'll go to the website of any bank, you will find the housing loan starts from 8.35%. Starts from 8.35%. Yeah? And bank will offer you 8.5%. So bank will give you higher 0.5%, 0.15% higher. And you can negotiate on 0.15% based on your CIBIL score. And that can be done. Consider debt consolidation and optimum combining multiple debts. So you can consolidate the debts and the lower interest you can do. Then the next is the make extra payments. So that is very effectively used if you make the extra payments. Let's take an example. The EMI is 12,520. And for example, EMI is 12,520. Make it round off to 13,000 rupees. Or make it round off to 12,600, 700 rupees. That round off will be the extra amount that you're going to pay that comes into your principal. And that will coming to your principal. It means over the period of time, the interest amount will go down. Okay? Use bonuses, tax relief, tax refund, something, whatever bonus, whatever refund is going to come. So just pay the extra money in your principal. That will reduce your interest burden. And if that will reduce your interest burden, definitely the good thing is going to be going into the future and slightly increase your regular payments. And let's take an example. Yearly increments are going to be taken in the market. So whatever increment is there, we know that with the last salary, if I can survive very good, so increment I can pay into my EMI. So try to reduce your EMI over the period of time by, let's take it 5% or 10%. So that will reduce your interest burden. And if you do this, your loan tenure will go down. And just giving one calculation to you, if you take a loan of 30 lakh rupees from any bank, let's take an example from any bank at 9.5% for 30 years. 30 lakh rupees from any bank for 9.5% for 30 years. Till the time, if you're going to pay at the end of for 30 years, you're going to pay up to 1 crore rupees to the bank. आपका लोन था 30 लाख रुपए का, बट 70 लाख रुपए आप उसको ब्याज दे रहे हैं. You can reduce that burden of 70 lakh rupees by paying the extra amount. And that calculation you have to do. How to do that calculation? Excel is available. Excel में goal seek करके function होता है, where you can work on that particular goal seek function. EMI का function होता है. You can work on that functions and definitely you can make the extra money and take the part. Then take the professional help. You are not able to do that. There are the counselors are available. There are the financial planners are available into the market. They will help you. Some point of time they will charge the fee also, but they will help you to consolidate your loans. They will help you to pay off your loans. And if they will help you, definitely you will make you can save some money. So these are the certain steps is there. Another part is that you can do the loan restructuring. So let's take an example. There might be some of the short financial states borrow that money can unable to pay that at the time of COVID and monetization. And that was the part. So you can see if the monetization is there in that particular part was there, say you cannot you're not able to pay the EMI for next 6 months, but that 6 month is a burden after certain time period to you, because whatever principal was there, whatever EMI was there, that has been added to your principal. Right? So you can ask for the restructuring. If your EMI is loan tenure is 10 years and you're paying a higher EMI, but due to some cause, if your income goes down, you can negotiate with bank. I am going to pay the EMI. I'm ready to pay the EMI, but just increase my tenure where the lesser EMI can be there, and that will be good for you. Okay. So in that point of time, you can go for the restructuring to the bank. Then for individual, this can happen when the loss of the job is there. But nowadays, when you're going to take a housing loan, take my words, some of the insurance companies are also going to give you an insurance if you have the job loss on a housing loan for, so they are going to pay the EMI for next 6 months. अगले 6 महीने की EMI वो pay करेगा, but in that 6 months you have to find your job, है ना? So that in that case you have to understand this particular part. तो restructuring के लिए आप बैंक में जा सकते हैं. The financial institution would like to uh, the loan to come no NPA na, because why the bank will ready to do this restructuring, because they want कि आपका loan NPA नहीं हो बैंक के लिए. So they are ready to do the restructuring. आप थोड़ा सा lower EMI के लिए बोलेंगे, 10 year बढ़ाने के लिए बोलेंगे, so they are ready to do this. ठीक है, that restructuring can be one of those steps. Then another part is the repayment schedule with the varying interest rates. Okay, now the repayment schedule of the loan, significant component that often ignored because all the individual focus on the EMI amount. The best example, this COVID-19 that I given to you, when government is reduced the interest rate from 9.5% to 6.7 or 6.5%, at that particular point of time, there was an opportunity for an individual that they can pay the extra amount because the rate of interest is lower. After a certain time period, gradually before last 1 year, government has also come into the same part of the 8.9% rate of interest is there. But what we are doing, we are keeping our EMI same because हम लोग focus हमारी EMI पे करते हैं, हम interest पे focus नहीं करते. तो for example, those who taken a housing loan at the time of COVID, he was happy कि चलो 6.5-7% पे मुझको loan मिल गया, and this 7% I am going to pay the 25,000 rupees EMI for next 20 years, for example. Okay, and what he has done, after a certain time period, bank has sent you mail. Now we are going to increase the EMI by 50 basis point or something करके अभी 9.5% हो गया, and you're again going to pay the same 20,000 rupees EMI. What happens to you? Your tenure is automatically increases into the bank. तो आपको consider करना है कि when the interest rate reduce, pay some extra amount. Interest rate increases, आप उसको secure करा EMI का amount बढ़ा दो. So that will have the same burden tenure to you. Then the repayment of the loan consists of two parts, interest and the capital paid, that we all know. EMI में दोनों part आते हैं. There might be some specific amount paid, but every individual also need to see the amount is being repaid towards the capital as well as the interest, and what amount you had paid. Even you can see recently RBI is take with one of the circular के some of the bank has done the practices के loan disbursement के पहले pre-EMI sort of interest has been charged और जो वापस देने के लिए बोला. So this is same part. You have to go through the loan amortization schedule. You can ask to your bank, give me my loan amortization schedule, and in that schedule you can see what is the component of principal and what is the component of interest that bank has been charged for me, and you can make an analysis कि अभी तक जैसे हम लोग देखते हैं कि some point of time क्या होता है कि पहले एक साल हम EMI देते, प्रिंसिपल में तो 1,000 रुपया ही गया, बाकी सारा इंटरेस्ट पे गया, ऐसा होता है ना, because we don't understand the concept of that EMI. Okay, and amortization schedule that you have to prepare. Now, criteria to evaluate the loan. When you take a loan, there are certain criteria. Number one, what is the interest rate? Compare the interest rates of the bank. So there are very good websites are there where you can compare the interest rate. After the comparison, you can make a decision. Number two, what is the duration of your loan? What is the tenure of your loan, period of your loan that you have to understand? Number three, different expenses that you're going to pay. And at some point, some banks will ask, there is zero file charges, processing fee nahi hai. कुछ बैंक बोलेगा प्रोसेसिंग फीस है इस परसेंटेज तक है, तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि व्हाट आर द चार्जेस दैट आई एम गोइंग टू पे एक्स्ट्रा ऑन दिस, एंड व्हाट इज द बेंचमार्क दैट सीआरआर एसएलआर क्या है, व्हाट इज द रेपो रेट, ओके, व्हाट इज द बेंचमार्क दैट बैंक रेट क्या है, उसके ऊपर में कितना डिफरेंस, कितने स्प्रेड के साथ जा रहा होता है, अंडरस्टैंड दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट, एंड व्हेन यू टेक अ लोन, डू द कंपैरिजन. After doing the comparison, you can negotiate with the bank again. आप बोलोगे कि वो SBI, let's take an example, 8.35 पे दे रहा है और आपको ICICI के पास जा रहा हो, बोलोगे कि 8.5%, आप बोलोगे नहीं मैं तो SBI से ले लूंगा, तो ICICI बोलेगा नहीं मैं भी 8.35 पे दूंगा. फिर बोलोगे नहीं SBI प्रोसेसिंग फीस तो 0% ले रहा, बट यू आर चार्जिंग प्रोसेसिंग फीस ऑफ लेट्स से 40,000 रुपीज, आप नेगोशिएट कर सकते हो वहां पे. सो देयर इज अ चांस ऑफ नेगोशिएटिंग, ओके, बिकॉज दे हैव टू डू देयर बिजनेस, दे विल डेफिनेटली नेगोशिएट विद यू. Then opting for change in EMI or change in tenure. So my suggestion is that when the interest rate increase, definitely you have to change your EMI. You have to increase your EMI. But when the interest rate reduce, change your tenure. है ना? तो आपको समझना पड़ेगा इंटरेस्ट रेट के अकॉर्डिंग यहाँ पर टेन्योर कम या ज्यादा होता है. So floating rate loans are very popular because nowadays whatever loans are there into the market, they are floating rate. They are linked with the monetary policy of the Reserve Bank of India. When the rates are changed, definitely your rates will also change. Okay, and you have to understand कि अगर आरबीआई ने रेट बढ़ाया, बैंक मेरा रेट बढ़ाएगा, बैंक रेट बढ़ाएगा तो मेरा टेन्योर बढ़ जाएगा, इसलिए मैं ईएमआई बढ़ा देता हूँ. तो ऑलवेज यू टू चेंज योर ईएमआई. ठीक है, द चेंज इज लिंक्ड विद द बेंचमार्क ऑफ टू द लोन एंड लीड टू द इंटरेस्ट पेबल ऑफ अ लोन. सिंपल, अगर आप चेंज नहीं करोगे तो यू टू पे द हायर इंटरेस्ट दैट वी कैन से. एंड देयर आर टू चॉइसेस. जो जनरली व्हाट हैपेंस इफ यू डोंट, आपका बैंक आपको एक मेल करता है जनरली इफ यू हैव अ हाउसिंग लोन और एनी लोन, बैंक विल सेंड अ लोन टू यू. The base rate is increased by 25 basis point. So we are going to increase your interest by 25 basis point. Just give us a confirmation that you want to increase your tenure or increase your EMI. If you will not increase, you will not reply, we will consider that you are going to increase your tenure. So when you are going to increase your tenure, definitely with the same EMI, if you don't change your EMI, your इंटरेस्ट बर्डन विल इंक्रीज. आपको अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा वो चीज को. ठीक है, तो अंडरस्टैंड दैट पार्ट. तो ऑलवेज माय सजेशन इज दैट यू ऑप्ट फॉर द इंक्रीज ऑफ द ईएमआई, डोंट इंक्रीज ऑफ द टेन्योर. So that will affect. And for this, that is very good function available in the Excel Golsic. Okay, you can do the analysis. Okay, if this rate of interest is there, what will be my duration? If this rate of interest is there, what will be my duration? Or if I'll change the EMI, how the duration can be reduced. Okay, so this way you can do the Golsic with the help of Excel. Now invest the money to pay off the outstanding loan. So there is very good analysis has been done by the HDFC Mutual Fund. I have given the reference also of this HDFC Mutual Fund. It is saying that if you are Mr. X and Mr. Y, there are two persons, they have taken a loan. One person has taken a loan for 20 years. Another person has taken a loan for 30 years. EMI definitely 30 years later, the EMI is lesser. But what that person has done, the balance जो आया है दोनों का, उस अमाउंट का he started with the SIP. After a certain time period, whatever SIP corpus is there, he has invested in a particular SIP corpus by giving a loan after certain in the deposited in the loan, and he has saved the 10 lakh rupees. But the condition is that the SIP returns is 15% is an assumption that analysis isn't taken. So you have to understand that many times individual has the same amount of received either in the lump sum or either in the windfall gain जब आता है. So we have a question कि outstanding पैसा दे दे या investment करें. So you have to do your own analysis कि if the rate of interest is high, unsecured loan है, personal loan है, credit card loan है, तो आप उसका outstanding पैसा दे दो. But if the housing loan is there, secured loan है, you have to do the analysis कि कितना time बचा है, something like that. And if you can invest in from investment, you're getting a higher return from the interest that you're paying. That will be good for you. So that analysis you can do from this particular figure. Strategies to avoiding the future dates. So there are the two or some strategies are there. The number one is the build the emergency fund. Okay, so always keep the emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. If any emergency came into a family, you have to not to take a loan. So that's why you have to create the emergency loan fund. Number two, use credit wisely. So if you have the credit card, है ना, आपको अच्छे से use करना है. Just understand the cycle of a credit card bill and avoid the interest. If you're not paying the interest on the credit card, that is very good for you. Okay, but if you have a credit card and you're paying interest on that, that is a worst situation in your life. Just analyze this particular situation. Then regularly review your finance. And every 2 months, 3 months, periodically आपको review करना है. What is the financial situation? What is your budget? आपने जो budget किया था उससे ज़्यादा expenses हो रहा है क्या? Debt के repayment पे क्या आप कर रहे हैं? If you have some corpus, you can pay your debt, reduce the tenure, something like that. Okay, and you have to monitor your credit reports also. Okay, because nowadays we can monitor your credit report even if you are using the Paytm or GPay. Okay, so from that you can monitor your credit CIBIL score. That will give an idea to you. Because at some point of time, if you paid off some loan, आपने किसी क्रेडिट कार्ड का पेमेंट पे कर दिया, ये EMI पे कर दिया, और अगर आपके सिबिल स्कोर में आउटस्टैंडिंग दिखा रहा है, इन दैट केस यू टू आस्क योर बैंक कि भाई ये डेफिशिएंसी हो रहा है, समथिंग लाइक दैट. ओके, नाउ choose the debt reducing strategy. So these two strategies that I have discussed with you, again the snowball. द फोकस ऑन द स्मॉलर डेट फर्स्ट. ओके, कि जितना कम अमाउंट डेट का है आप पहले उसको पे कर लो, छोटा छोटा डेट आपका चला जाएगा. सो दैट विल हेल्प टू यू. देन दैट विल बूस्ट योर साइकोलॉजी ऑल्सो. मेरे पास 10 आउटस्टैंडिंग लोन थे, अभी 10 में से 3 ही बचे. दे 3 आर लार्जर अमाउंट, बट छोटे छोटे आपने 6-7 तो पे कर दिया ना. दैट कैन बी देयर, सो दैट विल बूस्ट योर साइकोलॉजी. Or the debt income method, where the highest interest rate first paid and the lower interest rate will be later paid. So that can be there. So these two strategies are there where you can, or you can mix also both of them, that depending upon the individual to individual, but you have to understand these strategies for you. Then you have to consolidate the debts. Okay, so debt consolidations combine the multiple assets into a single loan. Okay, let's take an example. You have the 3 loans from different bank, from different interest rate. You will ask to another bank, okay, just give me the amount, I will pay all these 3 loans and I will have the loan with you. So that will, consolidation will reduce your liability burden. आपका बंद हो जाएगा. आपकी 3 EMI की डेट की जगह 1 EMI की डेट होगी. Sometimes it will be helpful for you. ठीक है, balance transfer is a very good thing if you do the BT with some of the banks, and that will definitely benefit to you. So balance transfer करने के लिए आप सोच सकते हैं. Then home equity loan or the line of credit, so use home equity or consolidation higher rate, but aware that the risk of the losing of the home will be there. And if you become defaulter, definitely बैंक आपका मकान को ले लेगा. So that can be there. Avoid accumulating the new debt. ठीक है, so limit use of credit card. आपको credit card कम से कम use करना है. Then use of credit cards, purchase or avoiding addition debt. Simple loan पे कुछ नहीं लेना. Then avoid new loans. Also, don't take the new loans from the market. Unnecessary, if it is not required, don't take it. ठीक है. Then monitor your process. So track your repayment, regularly review your debts. At some point of time जैसा होता है कि है ना, due to some technical, I've seen one person, his EMI was due on 8th of the month, and due to some technical error उसका 8 को EMI नहीं कटा, and he was happy. On 15th he was discussing with me कि चलो इस बार the bank भूल गया मेरा EMI काटना, तो I'm happy for this. And he has withdrawn that money for some personal use, और 16 को उसका EMI बैंक ने लगा दिया. Then the penalty was charged on him because the money was not there. तो आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि आपको ट्रैक करना है, रीपेमेंट कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे हैं, बैंक ले रहा नहीं ले रहा है, whether it is showing my account or not, adjustment हुआ नहीं हुआ, that you to track with the bank. है ना. Then celebrate your milestones. Just do the celebration of a milestone to keep motivate yourself कि आज एक लोन मेरा छुट्टी, चलो आज मैं पार्टी करूंगा लेकिन उधार लेके नहीं करूंगा, है ना. So you just keep yourself motivate that how to reduce the debts and how you can celebrate. Tools and resources where you can do this. So debt repayment calculators are available nowadays freely on many websites. So these tools can be used. And there are certain applications like like Mint, Aapka You Need Budget, and there are a number of applications are there where you can budget your expenses, and you have to monitor your CIBIL score frequently, where you can see whether your CIBIL you are eligible to take a loan or not. So I think Rajlakshmi ji, I'm on time. That's all from my side. If any questions are there, I'm ready to take questions for 5-10 minutes.
Sir, we have couple of questions. One of the participants has asked, can't we use a fixed interest rate to buy a home loan?
You can use, but again, the bank is not going to give you the fixed interest loan for more than 2 years. After 2 years, you have to port into the floating only. So, आपको fix, there can be good situation if the rate of interest is lower for 2 years. आप fix ले सकते हो, but उसका floating automatically हो जाएगा. But RBI generally suggested that nowadays all the housing loans are on floating only.
So another question is, financial leverage says debt is better than reducing tax. So can I relate to it in my financial planning?
If I can understand your question, if you take a debt, you can reduce your tax. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the simple answer is that due to the new tax regime, if your income is more than 15 or 16 lakh rupees, if you are taking a debt or not, tax benefit is there in the new tax regime. So if you are a lesser income up to 10 lakh, 12 lakh rupees, you don't want to pay the tax, that in that case, that is okay. But if you're coming into 30% bracket, द न्यू टैक्स रेजिम में आप डेट लो या नहीं लो उससे कोई फर्क नहीं है, यू हैव टू पे द हायर टैक्स.
Can you explain about how to settle a loan?
How to settle a loan? Simple. If you settle a loan with a bank, it will by any negotiation. For example, your outstanding is 10 lakh rupees. You are not paying the EMI. You become an NPA for a bank. If you're going to settle, it will affect your CIBIL score. And definitely, it is going to affect your CIBIL score, and you will not get any new loan. But you can request for a bank for the restructure of a loan, that you are going to pay the lower EMI due to your income or something like that. That will not affect your CIBIL score. अगर आप settlement करते हैं तो CIBIL score खराब होगा आपका.
Sir, one more question. Any possibility to reduce my housing loan interest if I'm irregularly doing the repayment?
No, no. If you are irregularly doing the payment, it is affecting your CIBIL score, and if it is affecting your CIBIL score, your rate of interest will always higher.
So one more question. What is the best loan for student for starting up a new business?
What is a?
Best loan for a student to start up a new business.
So if you start for a new business, the best loan is the take your own equity. That is one of the best loan, because if you take your own equity, on that your own equity, you can like EMI on that, you can take a benefit on the taxation part. But if you go to the bank, there are certain startup loans are available by the government of India. You can apply for that, and from that you can start your business.
So one more question. What is the difference between home loan and commercial loan or plot loan?
Home loan, you can, the basic one difference is that, two difference I will say. The home loan, number one, you can take a benefit of interest paying on the housing loan in your taxation, number one. Number two, the tenure can be higher, but the commercial or the plot loan, when you purchase a commercial or plot loan, the tax benefit is not there, number one. Number two, the tenure will not more than 15 years. Maximum can, some of the banks will offer you 15 years. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं देगा.
So one question. If a person wants to take a business loan, from where it is better, MSME bank or private, or to reconstruct it as of whether to invest some way or other?
Again, it depending upon which type of business you're going to start. You have to analyze, जो मैंने बताया कि which bank is providing what rate of interest, what is the processing fee, what is the charges, and do the analysis. Wherever it is the lowest is coming to you, that will be better for you. You have to do the comparative analysis. But more or less, due to this competitive world, सबका rate same ही होता है.
Sir, due to time constraint, we can take one last question. The question is, what are the best ways to rebuild my credit score after debt issues, the CIBIL score?
So after you can rebuild your CIBIL score, for example, your CIBIL score become less than 750 due to any non-payment of EMI. Okay, so in that case, you just pay the regular EMI for next some years, some months basically, at least for a year or so. So gradually your CIBIL score will increase. And whatever dates you are ever, for example, some persons are having 5 credit cards. So that 5 credit cards are showing in the CIBIL score, that is the date outstanding. Okay, reduce, just submit the credit card to the banks and have a one credit card if you require. So this way your CIBIL score will gradually increase. Pay the EMI on time, have the lesser number of credit outstanding, that will build your CIBIL score.
All right. So, sir, that's it for today. So, thank you so much, sir, for sharing.
Any other questions will be there, Rajlakshmi ji, ask them to mail us, we'll reply on them.
Sure. We'll do that, sir. Okay. So, sir, thank you for sharing your expertise and insights in this enlightening webinar. And to all the participants, I would like to thank you all once again who took your time to join here. So, have a good evening to everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.